Hey there. You're watching the Jessa channel on YouTube. I'm Jessa, and today we are playing Pathfinder Kingmaker, the story of Zara, Fae Sister. Here she is with her companion, constant companion Bracken, and they are a bit rough for the wear. In the last episode, we had some difficulty with spiders in a cave, in Fangberry Cave, to the point where Valerie is now at death's door.
Onwards.
When we arrived at Oleg's trading post, Lana noticed Valerie's pallor. She was white as a sheet, knees shaking, and all effects perfectly healthy, but definitely something had taken her pretty badly, as Lana said. So Lana made her best chicken soup, and after a day or two's rest, plenty of nurturing, Valerie is back to full health and ready to go in and take on those spiders again. So we're going to head back to Fangberry Cave. The journey will take us 6 hours, and along the way, Valerie whistles, and to the point where Amari gets so irritated that she yells, "Would you stop all that whistling?" And Valerie says, "But why? It's a lovely day, don't you think?" So we are back here. Let's go in and kill the rest of that swarm. And then we're going to move on to Thorn Ford.
It is done.
There are the remnants of our fire, and as of our previous camp. And as we walk by it, Valerie remembers how much pain she was in and sighs. So it was over here that we found that spider swarm, and let's see if it is still alive, or we can. Absolutely. Nope, it is still there. Amari smiles happily, though she much prefers killing things with her blade. Throwing alchemist fire is a close second. It goes boom. Whoa! 2 more just appeared as that one. Oh my god, and another spider. Okay, this is kind of bad. That's bad. Oh no. Okay. Okay, well, things just got real. They just got real. Okay, one spider swarm down. Whew. Okay, and one more to go. Okay. So, now that cave is cleared. That was a lot of work. Now, we still got this. We were unable to get it last time, as you saw in the past epic episode. But let's finally save here. Oh my goodness. Phew. And we used up a ton of alchemist fire. But note, the amount of alchemist fire that Baldur gives you is not enough. Not enough. However, which way are we going here?
No stopping now.
However, Zara is happy that she can tell Baldur completely truthfully that this cave has been cleared, and that she doesn't think any spiders are going to feel brave enough to return anytime soon. The party finds themselves in an ancient tomb, and it lives up to its name. It's full of spider webs and dust, and the smell of very old death and decay. Let's get a better view of the place. As the party walks in, a gnome in gaudy purple garb seizes their attention. Of course, it's the scoundrel Tartuccio, who we know from our time in Restov. The vile gnome is standing on a small hill, expressing his discontentment in every way he can muster.
Let me guess, you're still dawdling. Should I make some tea in the meantime? Bake a pie, perhaps? Plant a small garden and harvest some cherries? Perhaps you'd be more comfortable wearing fool's caps and colored trousers. Then at least I'd be able to sell tickets. Come one, come all! Feast your eyes upon the slowest and the most ridiculous buffoons in Golorian!
Why hurry? The same end awaits us all.
Hold your tongue, gnome. I can hardly tell your twaddle from the buzzing of a fly.
Quickly now, if we don't find that artifact soon, someone else might seize it. Someone who's standing over there watching you right now, you fools!
Zara, having taken her longbow out in readiness for combat, sets it down. She notices the other ruffians and brigands that surround Tartuccio. So she does not let her guard down. But to all outward appearances, she seems to relax. So, Tartuccio, she says, don't you have some other pressing business to attend? I thought, when I walked in here, that I had a funny smell upon my nose. Perhaps Jumandi's quest, if you remember it. The search for the Stag Lord?
I might ask you the very same. Aren't you supposed to be searching the local forest for some bandit boss in a horned hat?
That is true. However, my path led me here, as I have heard tale of a druid who has gone evil and against the land, and lays down a thick fog. You would not happen to know anything about it, would you? Tartuccio snorts and simply stares at her. In the corner, lurking in the shadows, out of the corner of her eye, Zara notices Harem. She remembers him as the cleric of gloom and doom, who worshipped the god Grotus, the god of death, I believe, and wonders why he would spend his time with such an inept fool. She turns to him suddenly and says, Harem, I would be happy to see you among my companions. Your faith, no matter how full of doom and gloom that it is, does not oblige you to follow fools and liars like this one. As her hand waves over towards Tartuccio.
There is as much vanity in your words as in the words of all who have not seen the wisdom of Grotus. Yet you seem a worthier leader than the arrogant Tartuccio. Perhaps in serving you, I shall open your eyes to the teachings of my faith.
Zara laughs. That will be the day. Believe me, my faith is planted firmly where it is meant to be. That pun is intended, she says, and smiles.
I see my magnificent rival will stop at nothing, even at stealing the servants of her enemy. Let us see if your fools are even more useless than mine. Draw your swords and cover my retreat.
And suddenly the entire party is on the alert again. Harem raises his weapon and turns towards the brigands who were just moments ago his allies.
Charged forwards. Hey, wait for me.
Acid Splash failed. Ha 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 ha. Amiri, charge. Can you charge? Yeah. Okay, well that's one way to do it. That's one way. Thank you for playing. Valerie, now you can do that coup de grace on him. Rah! Bam! Critical hit, attack of opportunity. Oh my god, that guy is so dead. So dead. I know, just hit the guy. Thank you. Goodness. as the party comes to the end of the dungeon, having welcomed Harim into their ranks, and made sure that he was ready for battle, they walk out of the ancient tomb into the first sweet, fresh breath of air. After the stale, damp stuffiness of that tomb, it is welcome. Before the party stretched an unending heath, replete with hills and gullies and patches of low shrubs. Already, the trail of Tartuccio and his companions had gone cold. Let's do a lore nature check. This is something that Zara is particularly good at, skilled at. We're not going to give up so easily, says Zara as she turns to her party. Whether the trail went cold or not, it is one we have to follow. So therefore no blade of grass was bent. It must have been enough time to straighten back up, because whoever last passed through was a very light human being, like Tartuccio is. However, the heath's dry earth preserved the prints of little shoes. Their eyes to the ground, they followed the trail. Leading them, they walked and walked, Zara walking ahead, until finally they came upon a huge gully. The dried up bed of a river of yore. But, Zara holds up a hand. What is this? Using her druid sense, she places her hand on the ground and then listens. At the edge, she says, the grass is trampled down and the soil turned up. But look, there are caw plants. Lots of them. I think we've stumbled upon a fresh battlefield, she says, calling over her shoulder. Bracken walks up to the prince, sniffs them curiously. And then he growled and says, I wonder who tried to imagine. I tried to imagine who left these claw marks, old Zara friend. Now, Bracken does speak, though only Zara can understand him. Everyone else just hears a series of growls. As he pads ahead, he says, look here, to Zara. The trail split. One set of footprints walked away from the battle. Here. And he sniffs down and continues padding along and down into the gully. Zara rushes to keep up with his long strides. Then there were some other footprints. Some brave human, it looks like. It looks like... He forms a picture. They were facing down their enemies, following the path along its edge. Look here, he says, the claw marks are not deep. And Zara continues. Knowing that other people cannot understand him, she wants to let them know what is happening. She says here, the claw marks are not deep. Bracken is letting me know. The attackers were small and lean, he says. And more, these creatures walked on 2 legs, he says. Like humans. Finally, the form of the prince, he's telling me, left no doubt. He knows he has stumbled upon kobold lands. And then suddenly there is a growl. Roar! And Zara hears kobolds in his low, throaty voice. Let's, She reaches over and puts her hand on Bracken's huge head. And she says, what do you think, friend? Should we follow the single set of footprints? Or follow along the bigger trail? He says, let's go along the bigger trail. And he pads along in front of her. Yes. A human stood brave here, and we should help him if we could. With me, Zara. Tell your companions to keep up. And along he goes. As he follows the path, Bracken notices that the path went right along a steep edge, but soon it turns, and it circles around a thick and prickly bush. He circles it several times, sniffing and sniffing as he goes. No sooner than he had turned, than he ran into directly a band of kobolds who were approaching from the opposite direction, hackles raised, all four paws put out. He has, if there are any more footprints on the path, he notices those bloody kobolds surely trampled them. But as he calls back, "Kobolds!" and Zara says, "To arms!" "We have no time," he says, "to concern ourselves with that." Bracken pads ahead down the path, sniffing as he goes. Little kobold feats of kobolds. I don't think there's anything to really get. Yeah, this is one of those empty maps that are just for being waylaid. So let's continue on and follow Tartuccio's path. Thorn Ford, in the heart of the woods, is one of the best places to cross the Thorn River. Most traders and travelers chose the Thorn Ford for passage, attracting bandits to the place as well.
I don't like surprises.
Haram points at a tree and says, looks like someone's stash here." Fingering a little ancient rustling coin, he pockets it. Standing in the fog, the party can barely see, and rain does not make the matter any easier. This fog is unnatural. Unnatural, says Zara. Wind howls through the trees and they rock heavily on their trunks.
I found something interesting.
Well, we must be near their camp, or the camp of these bandits, because they have laid out traps to welcome us, says Zara.
Applause, please.
Lindsay says, "It's no problem. Let me scout ahead." Going into stealth mode, she's going to look out for traps. It seems to be clear.
You're but a footnote in our story.
Whoa! Or not. Whoa, summon dog. Okay. That's a problem. All right, and the dog goes down. Let the party gather and see if there are any more traps. It seems to be safe, but Lindsay is looking a bit chagrined at having missed that trap. Let's look off the road, says Zara.
An ambush, eh?
Yes, an ambush. We're going to go into stealth because that dog lets us know that we are near, oh! So much for stealth. And so Cressel, who's behind the bush here, unfortunately kind of a bad angle here, but Cressel is a dark-haired bandit, female bandit, who's kicking the ground irritably. When she sees you, she squares her shoulders and clenches her hand axes. "Well, look who's here," she says. Cressel is a bandit responsible for collecting taxes for the Stag Lord, one of the first dwellers of the Stolen Lands, who you met on your arrival. She was collecting taxes, I put that in quotes, from Oleg's trading post. She ran off, but we took really good care of the rest of her bandits who stayed. Amari walks to the front of the group and she says, "Listen here, I'm not much for talking. You can tell me everything you know. You can tell us everything you know about the Stag Lord and where he's hiding, or you can die. All right? Clear?" Kressel says with a slow smile, "Is that so? If anyone's going to be pushing up daisies, barbarian, it will not be me." Kressel sets her stance and attacks, and therefore Amiri has caused the battle to begin. Valerie.
Do not falter.
Oh, yes! Look at that. Efficient, effective, we are a team. Now, let's end your turn. And Amiri, it's time for a charge.
Tear them apart.
I love it. Tear them apart! So dead. Yay! Awesome.
Done.
Okay, so let's first of all gather the spoils, but Kressel is not able to be saved, unfortunately, which Lana back at Oleg's trading post was hoping. Valerie walks up to this man here sitting on the log and says, and she sees a dark-haired man of about 45, though the wrinkles on his face make him look 60 at first sight. He is currently a prisoner, judging from his tied hands. He slouches a bit, squinting short-sightedly at the light as he moves his lips, as though speaking to someone invisible. He jerks his head up when he notices you. "Oh, praise Aristel. Someone finally chased off those scoundrels. Thank you, stranger. My name is Jahad Kevkin. I am a priest of Aristel from Galt. Those bandits attacked me as I was crossing the river, said they wanted to take me to their leader, make me heal their wounds. Not a chance. The strength granted me by Aristel is meant to help honest people, not robbers." So, Valerie is going to immediately release Jahad, saying, "I'm glad we could help." Jahad mutters a bit, rubbing his hands. "Oh, these times. To be surprised to meet an honest woman, as to see a manticore at a vegetable stall. Thank you for your help. I've exhausted my supply of prayers, but I'll gladly repay you in the future, once I've restored my strength. Come to me if you ever need to be healed or blessed. I'm afraid an old fool like me won't be able to handle the mission given me by Aristel on my own. How can I search for the temple when the bandits around here won't let me take a single step? I'll head to Oleg Levington's trading post. I was about to make my way there before waylaid by these brigands. I need to rest and think on what to do next. Please, though, your name?" "It's Valerie." "Valerie." And he nods behind Valerie to the rest of the party. "If you happen to discover the ruins of the Temple of the Elk, please, could you inform me? Old Jahad's gratitude will know no bounds." And Jahad walks off with the party pressing a few potions and some rations on him. And he then walks off, where we will hopefully see him again at Oleg's trading post. But now we have very important things to do. Important things like looting. Let's loot this bad boy. All right, so we have something over here. Please, please unlock this. Thank God. Let's search the belongings. We succeeded. We can take the wine or break the jars and spill the wine. She would not do that because it would leave glass in nature and it would harm the earth. So she's going to take the wine and offer it as a gift to Oleg Levington. I always say Levington, it's actually Leviton. Is there anything else around here? Any other loot? Yeah, right here. Don't think there's anything back there, but just thought I'd look. You never know. You want to grab all the loot while you can. And speaking of which, a watchtower. The bandits seem to have planned to seriously secure the area. But now that area is ours. Thorn Ford belongs to us, our companions. And Zara is going to do all she can to make it, to undo the damage that the bandits have done. Replant a few trees. But for now, she'll have to put those things aside until she can find out what's going on with this fog, which lies everywhere. Let's continue on down the path, crossing the river here. There's nothing here to see. But here stands a sturdy cart with weapon marks upon the sides, along the sides. There are enemies ahead. So let's try stealth and then see if we can attack these guys from stealth.
Become as dust. Repent.
So now that we've gotten everything out of the way there. Awesome. There's a +1 ring there, ring of protection there. Wonderful. I think we're going to go back and sleep. Right in the bandits' camp, except using our own camping gear because their gear is disgusting. But we're going to rest right here on the side of the road, keeping watch out for any bandits that might come along that think that they can ambush us. Harim's gloomy mood and love of solitude mystically reduces the party's chances of attracting monsters and enemies. The chance for every attack decreases every guard shift that begins during the night.
So here's what we got so far. Today, Amiri killed 10 kobolds, a troll, a hoe dog, and more goblins than the fingers on 2 hands can count. You know, I don't think our readers are going to believe all this.
But it's the truth. I can cut them all down easy. You just need to find them.
Creative license. Let's continue. We were not ambushed by any bandits, which is wonderful. And we are now rested. At this point, let's take a look at our journal. Under the Biddle Rival quest, the gnome sorcerer Tartuccio has escaped us. We'll meet him again, and then he'll know the meaning of pursuit. We're also getting nightmares and need to make our way to the Shriek River. That's not where we are right now, so I think we're just going to continue exploring. We'll need to return Lana's ring. And we have also been tasked with finding the Temple of the Elk. On top of all of that, we have the important process of finding the Stag Lord. We still have 82 days to complete that. It's not a huge rush, but we want to keep focused on, well, the main plot of the game. The party walks along and then has a moment of discussion amongst themselves. Where should we head to next, they say. Let's actually go out onto the map, and then we'll decide. So we have on our map the abandoned hut. We'll also find things as we travel. There is an old sycamore here that we can explore, which seems to be the closest location. This is somewhat out of our way, so we can go to this location after we, when we're ready to go back to Oleg's trading post. But for now, I think we'll make our way to the old sycamore and continue hunting for Tartuccio as well as for the Stag Lord. But we're going to bring this episode to a close here. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you're watching me live, hang out. We're not done yet. But for those of you watching me on YouTube, I want to thank you, as always, for watching.